Alright folks, how are we? I am Shipwreck Sean, and this is episode 36 of my Sailwind series. We've got a lot to go over today. I've been doing a lot off camera. As you can see, we're in Gold Rock City. We are not next to Mirage Mountain. But I'll get to that in a second. First, we have an update to go over. Alright folks, so here we are. Update 0.34 patch notes. The first thing that jumps out to me is map charting. You can now plot charts on your maps using the newly added charting kit. Place a map on a table and use the charting kit on it to access the chart plotting system. You can draw lines and measure distances with a ruler, but be careful, lines cannot be erased. Charting kits can be purchased in capital cities. So we'll definitely be doing that today if we can find one and get it working. It might make the little website that I use obsolete, but we will certainly have a wee peek. We will be going to the shipyard today, and therefore we'll need to go on a test sail with our newly upgraded sandbuck, so we'll do it at the same time if we get the chance. Oakum can now be used for temporary hull repairs. You can purchase barrels of oakum on most islands and use them to patch holes in your ship for quick temporary repairs. So I already had this because I was on the beta version of Sailwind, so I thought this was already in. And to tell you a wee story, I opened up the save. I'll give you the whole update to let you know why I'm at Gold Rock City, but I opened up a save at Oasis, and my boat, which was berthed very nicely at Oasis, when we loaded in, it was underneath the pier. I heard a massive crashing sound. I thought that doesn't sound good, and I looked at the hull and it looked terrible. My oakum had disappeared as well, so I ran into Oasis, picked up some more, and came back, and when I right clicked the barrel, which is how you use it, the oakum went to, I think it was 55%. So I used 45% of a barrel. So sailing back from Oasis, I was pretty much sailing half of a ship and the rest of it was old horsehair. So that was fun. So I'm tempted to reclaim my money back. There are ways to do it, but it feels a bit like cheating. But if it's not my fault, well, hey ho. It all depends on how expensive the shipyard is going to be. But anyway, moving on. Bug fixes. Improved to the crate system. You can once again store lanterns and other hangable items. Hangable items is a bit foreshadowing for this episode because I've got a wee bit to talk about that. A bug where some world items would not spawn properly on old saves. So I reckon that's the problem I was having with the secret map on Mirage Mountain. Barrels of seawater now sell for the same price as empty barrels. Now I didn't know about that one. If I'd known that, I could have been loaded with seawater. Fix a terrain collision bug in Mirage Mountain. So that tells me that perhaps you can scale to the very top of the mountain and it's no longer a mirage. Fix a bug where some potted plants would not load correctly, obviously the most important one. Fix a texture bug with a bucket, second most important, and fix a texture bug with the Al Ankh map, which we're all aware of. So that's the updates. We'll head back to Sailwind. Alrighty, so there has been a lot of talking in this episode so far, but I'm just going to do a wee bit more talking just so that you are all up to speed with what I did off camera. Let's go and have a look at receipts. So I think last time you guys were with me, it was Saffron Island, where we picked up 3 lots of saffron. I then took that to Mirage Mountain, and this says I've only sold 2 of them, but I definitely sold 3, but it looks like I've only got the receipt for 2. The reason I got individual receipts is because I had to run them back and forward because I anchored off at the north part of Mirage Mountain. I could not be bothered getting the sandbuck in there again, and to be honest with you, I'm glad I made that choice because I think it was still quicker than getting in and out of that S-bend. We then sailed across to Oasis, where we bought some sculptures and said quite a few swear words because our boat was wrecked. 2 lots of sculptures, as you can see. And then we made our way back to Gold Rock City, where we sold the sculptures and we bought a couple of sunspot fish, but I'll go over that in a wee moment. Mission wise, we took, what day was it? What day did we start? It looks like we took a lot of random missions across the Oasis here, so we did make a decent well, not exactly a lot of money, but some decent reputation, some mail, olive oil. And then we just took a few random missions back to Gold Rock City just to try and maximise on the situation we were in. A wee update on reputation, since we've not looked at this in quite some time. We're still at the 20% retail discount at Al Ankh, and it looks like it's going to take us quite a while to get to 25%, but now we are pretty much only going to be ocean crossing. Obviously, when I get to Aestrin, I'll maybe pick up a smaller boat, potentially a dinghy, and have a wee play about and look at the islands that I haven't seen before. So I'm guessing these percentages will start to climb up fairly quickly. There's also been some changes on board. So as you can see, she is absolutely wrecked. That's not a graphics issue. That is all of the boat damage that's been filled with oakum. We have not made it to the shipyard yet because we'll be doing that today. But I just wanted to show you the extent of the issue. It was a huge bang. That we're filled with water already just by sitting in the port. Where is my oakum? Here's my oakum. 55%. So just on one click, I used 45% of a barrel of oakum. And apparently one barrel of oakum is good enough for an ocean crossing. So I think I'm going to stock up on maybe 3 for the ocean crossing, just in case anything happens. If we get any more updates, I'm just going to bail out some bilge water whilst we're at it. I think I've just poured that back into the boat. But we do not want this, because I've got some retail therapy to do. But before I do that, I'll show you any changes I've made on board, because I've had a little bit of an interior design craze. I don't think it's looking good, but it's certainly looking compact. So here we have the ship's maintenance department. Broom, bucket, oakum, that's that done. In here, I'm just going to store my water. I don't know if I could remove the hammock in the shipyard, but if I can, I will. But we've got barrels of water here. I believe the 60.00, the decimal, is part of the rain collector mod, because I think if I have a nearly empty barrel and take it out and leave it on deck whilst it rains, that barrel will slowly fill. You can also do it with cups and all sorts of other things. But let's go and have a look up here. So I've taken the bed out from the centre point, I've put the clock on the map, start again. I put the clock on the mizzen mast. I just thought I looked pretty. Little light in case we want to see that at dark. I've got the bed up to the side here. I struggled to work out where to put the plant. Unfortunately, we are nearing the end of our ungodly pile of bread. I will get some more bread for the ocean crossing, but instead, as my good friend Coupling Rhino has pointed out, we are no longer hobos. We're going to get an ungodly pile of goat's cheese. So there we go, moving up in the world. If we take one bite of goat's cheese, it's going to be less of a ball ache to eat than hundreds of pieces of bread. Up the stern here, we've got these davits that are put in as part of the dinghies mod. I didn't put them in myself, so you can lower the hooks. I didn't put these in myself. They got added automatically when I installed the dinghies mod, so I'm going to be removing those. I think, we'll see. Yeah, probably will actually, because if I'm going to play with a dinghy, it's going to be at Aestrin. I'm sure there's a shipyard there. Fishing hook here. I do have a fishing mod somewhere that I'm going to... I believe I can buy like a hook. Let's see if it works with... Oh, that wasn't even on a hook. I'll go and get a hook and play around with it. But I believe that I should be able to hook the fishing rod onto the stern, throw the line in first, hook it on, and it'll fish itself. I obviously still need to reel in, but that could be just a little quality of life. Over here, we've got some more fishing hooks. I don't think I'll need more than that for the ocean crossing. We've got a full box of firewood, a little pile here, our little plant, and our 10 unit bottle of water. I just took a little test sip there because I've heard that there's a problem with the rain collector mod where sometimes if you go to drink the bottle of water, you drink all 10 automatically. The eagle eyes of yous will have notice this and will be wondering what the hell this is. It's a wind compass. So now we can see what way the wind is going precisely with this little doohickey. That's probably the most cheaty mod I've got, so try to use that less often. Something a little bit less cheaty, but in the same vein, is this. I've got the Telltales and Wind Markers mod. So we can just fire this somewhere, and it means that, you know, when it's night time, we've at least got a marker here we can rely on, rather than having to stare up at night and struggle to make anything out. We've got the map here because I want this to be my charting area. So today we'll get a table, we'll get the chart maps, and I'll maybe get another table here for placing these. And yeah, we've got our nav lights on the right side, might I add. It only took me like 30 episodes. We've got a kettle, pot. I emptied the box of sunspot fish. We've got some wine here. I bought a new crate of sunspot fish and a second one, and off camera I'm going to make a wee trip down to Alchemist Island, and I'm going to fill these sections with snake oil for emergency situations only. I say only, I reckon I'm going to get 2-3 days into the sail and and rely on them, but we'll try not to do that. And I believe that's everything I've done on board. I added one extra lantern here. There was already this one up forward. This crate of oranges has been here for quite some time. I can't remember if I did that on camera. I did, yep, I wanted to add a lantern here as well, just because I felt like it made sense. And I don't know if I've added it yet. I wanted to add a lantern on the back, but I've currently got it sat here on a table, which I think actually from an interior design point of view looks pretty good. But, I mean, even if you look at the house I live in real life, I am no designer. I am not very good at feng shui. So if you've got any tips, please let me know. Alrighty, so here we are at the market. It's time to do engage in some retail therapy. So I know I would like an extra barrel of oakum, at least one more, just for safety. Let's take you. Can I shove that in here? Yes, I can. I'm going to take an extra fishing rod, just in case I lose the first one, and an extra bucket, just in case I lose that. I think that's all smart choices. Do we need anything from here? I would like an extra lamp hook just to play around with, but I believe the fishing mod has its own rod holders, I believe they're called, but I'm not seeing it here, unless of course the mod hasn't worked. So I'm just going to take an extra lamp hook and see if I can get that working, and if not, well, we've got an extra lamp hook. I would like a large table for charting, so we're going to take that. What we got here, that's just black tea. And I've got a couple of spaces left in my inventory. What can I pick up? Of course, we'll do it. I do need to find the chart maps. I forget what they're called. But let's go and place our table. I'll do all this and then we'll get ourselves into the shipyard. Let's chuck everything around for now. Extra bucket can go down into the ship's maintenance department. Is that water in the hull already? Fantastic. Well, the bucket's getting instant use. That's quick edit you saw, folks. Like, didn't take long at all. So that's how quickly this boat is filling up. We'll get our barrel of oakum put here. And then we'll keep our buckets here. And actually, I did install the hooks mod that seems to hook things on to loads of things. Let's give it a little test. Can I hook the bucket? Would you look at that? Oh, that's beautiful. See, I'm a sucker for the simple things, but that's not what we're going to use that for, even though it looks great. We're going to see if we can use this with the fishing rod. Right, so if we pop that here, attach fishing rod, oh, would you look at that? So now when we're sailing, we'll be able to just throw it in. Yep, I've been over all that. But what I'm going to do, in case deleting the davits or the hooks causes any problems. I'm just going to take all this away from there for now. We'll just dump this extra fishing rod. And I don't know where the new ungodly pile is going to be. Maybe just pop it here for now. And then let's shove all these in my inventory so I can shove the table where I would like it to go. And this is going to be the navigation station. Just like so. I think it might be cooler if we have the map somewhere next to it, but maybe not on the table, because we need the full table space for the chart. You know what, maybe just to look cool, we'll have a rolled up map like that. Yep, that looks great. And let's dump our bread. And what else would I like to buy? I'd like to get a couple of crates of honey beer or wine. I need to watch the gold, actually. And then I will refer myself, Coupling Rhino, and Ico Loco put together a wee shopping list for me to get. So I'll refer to that in a wee second. But let's find some wine first of all. Who's selling wine? I mean, rum will be fine. I'm just going to find the cheapest alcohol that I can buy in a large quantity. Have you got anything, mate, or are you just water? I'm actually going to turn the sound down a wee touch because I feel like I'm shouting. I can't actually. I might just have to check the trader for that sort of thing. I don't know what this is for. Maybe this is part of the fishing mod, or I'm not sure. Oh, that reminds me. Sorry to jump around, folks, but here is where you can buy telltales and stuff as part of the mod. And the wind compass, you can get these to hang on hooks, but I didn't really like the idea of how that would look. We'll take the extra hook for the extra fishing rod, and we'll take a hook for the spare bucket. And let's go and see which barrel of alcohol I can get for cheaper. Right, so beer is 53, meat 121, cider 130, rum. I'm not seeing wine. Am I just being completely blind? Where's wine? Copper sulfur. There we go, wine. We can't buy wine. Fantastic. So, we're getting beer. I think 2 barrels will be enough, at least for one crossing. We can always pick up more when we get there. And I just need to work out where I'm going to stow it. I mean, this would be good in here, but I would like this to be just water. Perhaps we'll see if we can just kind of shove it up front for now. Like that. And get one next to it. Because we would like as much space as possible for goods. Because I plan on being absolutely loaded by the time I've sold everything and completed all the missions in Aestrin. There we go. Cool. And actually, before I run back, I've got one fishing rod here, so just shove the other one next to it for now. Like that. And I'm already liking the look of that. Let's pop you here. And spare bucket here. Oh, I love that. I'm honestly tempted to get like 40 hooks, you know, shove the broom up and all the rest of it, but we don't want to go overboard, if you can excuse the pun. Right, so what the hell did I want to do next? As I say, I really need to watch money. I would like to buy a map of Aestrin. Oh, that's the first time I've sworn on YouTube. I might have to edit that one out. I said hits and gigs. Right, here we have the charting kit for 170, so it's going to be quite expensive as a sort of tester. So I'll take it anyway. And I think I might test it without autosave on. Ah, screw it, 170. We'll just see how much is left over afterwards. But I've got the charting table on the table. I don't know how much space we'll need to open it up, so that will remain a mystery for now. I won't bother putting any of the nav tools along here just yet until we know how much space it'll use when opened. But that's pretty cool. Why won't you? It's sitting on the table a bit weird. Can I... What if I place you round this way? I think with this being part of the new update, there's obviously a few weirdnesses with it. But it's at a bit of an angle. We're just going to have to settle with that. So, looking at the shopping list I've got, I believe we've got enough water, particularly with the rain catching mod. We have stocked up on beer. I'll just use one of my empty bottles of coconut wine once I finish it as a beer bottle. Once that's done, I've got here snake oil on the shopping list, which I'll do off camera. Fishing hooks, crate ×2. Yeah, I might do that just for safety. Nav tools, which I've got spare lanterns. I won't need that as I've got a crate of candles that I spent too much money on, and we'll get some nice lanterns at Astron, or so I'm told. A crate of oranges, which I've got one, and I've got a pile, and sunspot fish, which I've got. So I think we're good. There was other things on the list, such as extra fishing rod, etc., which was an Ico Loco suggestion, which we have now. So yeah, I think we're pretty good just to head to the shipyard. I think what I'll do is I'm going to go and spend the night in the tavern because I quite like doing that, and you know, just to refresh everything, start anew, and then I'll be right back with you in the shipyard. So see you folks very shortly. Alright, so I think we're ready to give this a bash. Let's jump in. So we're at 25% damage, which is going to cost 853. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Can we furrow sails? Yes, we can. Let's get a better view. And we want to clean the ship as well. That's already 1,075 Alank Lions. Let's just see how much this is all going to cost together. So I'm going to keep the... Let's see, what do we want to do here? I think I'd maybe like 2 jibs. What one we got here? We've got the 17-yard jib. So let's see, first of all, if we can get a lower forestay, which is obstructed by the square. And that is the only forestay we can go for, it would appear. Yep, so they're all obstructed. And now it's saying there's a random gaff 11 yard that's obstructed. I'm wondering if it's maybe going to be better to just start anew, start from completely scratch, get rid of all the sails. Yeah, let's try that. Let's remove you. We'll try and memorise what we've got here, but I think we'll have some fun just playing around. We've got an 11-yard gaff there. We'll be getting a topsail gaff. On the mizzen, we've got these. Okay, so now things should be a bit simpler to play around with. Let's start with masts. We just want main mast 1, that's fine. Oh, it doesn't look like we're not getting much of a refund for returning the sails, so this might be quite an expensive endeavour. So it might be better off if we actually just keep them. But we'll see, we'll play around first of all. Just having a look at what's around, but I think that's all we're going to do with the masts. I don't think I want a huge mizzen mast for worries of there being any sort of off balances. Forestay, so I'm quite happy with them as forestays. I would like to sort the shrouds as well. Do we want shrouds on each side? Yeah, I think I would rather that. I don't know if that's going to cause any problems though, because it might limit the gaff, but then again, we don't want the gaff right out and we'll have squares instead. I just don't know if the squares become obstructed, but then previously we had this as a shroud, and the squares were never obstructed. So I think they just don't exist. Like, they're not physical in the game, is what I'm trying to say. They're not 3D things. Words. Which means we'd want the same here. I think we want to keep our cloth roof. I just like the feel of it. We've already got the large rudder. We definitely want a bilge pump. Hammock. Yes, so we can remove the hammock down below, so that's good. 4 mast shrouds. I don't think that's going to do anything, considering I think that's just the same as the main shrouds up here. We don't actually have any, and it doesn't look like we're paying for anything anyway. No telltale. Main mast telltale. Oh. Okay, we're definitely having that. The more telltales, the better, in my opinion. Boys and girls, everything in between and everything around, oh my word, we can get a crow's nest. Would you look at that? The shrouds have now become ladders. Oh my Gideon, I am very excited at that prospect. That's going to be good. Okay, and then davits removed. I'm hoping that's not messed anything up behind. Right. And do we want a middle stay? We'll shove one in for now, because I think it might be quite fun to have a sail in here. But we might not go for it in the end. Okay, let's do the fun part, which is sails. We've already spent 3,452 Alank Lions, so this might just be kind of, we'll test everything together, see how expensive it's going to be, and then I'll make a quick edit where I just jump back out. I won't bother with any of the refund stuff. I'll keep what I need, and I'll work it out. So for the main sail, I'm going to want a gaff, and I'm going to want a topsail gaff. The largest one is obstructed by the middle stay and the cloth roof here. I can move up, that'll avoid the cloth roof, but yeah, we're going to have to get rid of that middle stay immediately. So at least we've got our answer for that one. I would also, on the main mast, like some squares. And I think I can go a lot bigger than previous. Let's see, but we'll go crazy. What's the 12? Now, we're not going to get away with 12 and a jib. And 2 jibs, rather. But, I don't know, I kind of want to go crazy and have a massive square sail. So, I'm going to... Yeah, we're going to get rid of the lower forestay. For now. And I must be able... There must be, like, if I've got the bowsprit coming right out here, there must be something I can do to get a second jib. But let's just go with the main sails first. And then we'll worry about everything afterwards. Add sail, square. What do we want as a top square? Is that going to be too large? I mean, is that ridiculous or is that okay? We'll be a bit top heavy, mind you, but I don't know. I don't know if I should take the both square sail sizes down a touch, or if I should just settle with that. It might be a bit difficult in a storm, but then again, the sail, we know how to reef. We know, yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it. Thank you for convincing me, folks. On the mizzen, we're going to get another topsail gaff, but we'll go for the smaller one. For the sake of balancing. Move that up. It's funny how that doesn't collide with the cloth roof. Interesting. Yeah, I like the look of that. And then we had a square here as well. I don't know what size of square, but we certainly had a square. Let's see how a wee 11 yard will look. Yeah, I quite like the look of that, because it doesn't steal. It steals a bit of wind from the main sail if we're going completely running with the wind. Oh, and we can't move that up to fit, so we can't go for the 11 yard, unfortunately. So let's remove you, and let's try a different square. Let's try the wide square 8. Now, I'm liking that. That's looking like it makes a bit more sense. Yep, okay. And I think we're almost done. I don't know if we'll change the colours. I usually like to go for a black. But let's see. I was positive that I could do something with the forestays. So there's one mega long forestay. And well, that's not attached to anything, so we don't want that. We don't want it to look terrible. I think that's the best looking one we're going to get. I know it kind of clips in here, but that's okay because we want the crow's nest no matter what. I don't care about clipping. So then the lower forestay is going to be obstructed no matter what. So I think we're just going to have to stay balanced with one mighty jib. So let's get a nice biggie. That's going to be in staysails. What's the massive one? 22 yard. Oh, that looks balanced to me though. I don't think that's going to be a problem. That total is a lot cheaper than I thought it was. I think, I don't know what's happening with the refunds and such, but that is really not bad at all. I'm sure any real sailors watching this are thinking, what on earth are you doing? But I don't know, folks, I think this looks good. That's as high as that'll go. Just get everything moved up ever so slightly. Yeah, I think that's looking good. I can't wait to give this a go. I mean, imagine she's just completely off balance. And the other thing, I'm going to have a tough time working out where all the halyards are and stuff, but hey ho. Do we want everything black again, folks? Are we smugglers? No, we're not smugglers anymore. We are kings of the Alank archipelago. We're about to turn up to Aestrin like rich naval barons. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I think white's glorious. It will look beautiful. We'll be able to see it a bit better at night as well. I was tempted to go for other colours. And there is a mod where you've just got like unlimited colours, but we don't want that. I might, just for a bit of fun, have the squares maybe like an off colour. How's a light blue? Blue and white for, you know, the smallest and yet loudest country in the world, Scotland. Well, we're certainly not the smallest country, but we're probably up there as loud. Yep, loud, proud, white and blue. Let's do it. Some blue squares. Beautiful. And then our jib will just keep the same colour, but then we've got our wee square, our wee 3.5. Do I want to go for something bigger here? Bigger than the 3.5? Let's have a wee peek. So larger than 3.5 is going to be a wide square 5. Yeah, I think that's pretty decent actually. I was going to say it might be a bit too much for dock work, but actually looking, I don't think it will. And of course, with it being a square, we'll change it to an off colour grey/blue. They're a lot more colourful without the sun on them. But yeah, I think that might be our new improved sandbuck. I have made an autosave at the start of this, so if it all goes kaput, I don't want to edit 2 swear words out today, so you're getting kaput, then we can always come back. Just come over here and check for any obstructions, but it doesn't look like there's anything. So we're just going to bite the bullet here, confirm, and let's boost. Okay. Oh, I'm excited, folks. I am giddy. Hull's lovely and clean. Well, there's only one thing for it. I think we better jump in. Oh, actually, I didn't see if there was any more telltales, did I? Because I know there was a main telltale. This is the most important thing, folks. I am not leaving without this. What was it in others? Mainmast telltale. Okay, so it was just mainmast mizzen, foremast, no telltale. So it's basically one or the other you're getting, and I think the mainmast is going to be the smarter one. Something's making an awful lot of noise. I think it's the sails here. Okay, happy with that. Sails. And let's confirm it at that. Cannot install new parts. A sail is obstructed. What, by the telltale? Was it the telltale that's done that? I mean, I thought I just... What's obstructed now? Okay, let's have a look. It's saying something's obstructed. Can I just exit? Yeah. I don't know what was going on there. Perhaps it's an issue that will present itself in the future. But for now, I think we're ready just to go for a wee test sail. So first of all, we want to get out of here with the jib. Hopefully the jib's in the same place, which it is. Let's pull that in. And I'm actually going to race back to the helm because we are turning ever so slightly to port. And don't you worry, folks. As soon as I get the opportunity, the first thing I'll be doing is going up that crow's nest. Just in case any of you thought I'd forgotten that. Absolutely not. That's literally the whole point in this episode, was the crow's nest. I acted all surprised, but I knew it was there. Right, let's go. Oh, come back down. And as we've got a beam reach, we've got an opportunity to test all the gaffs and their balance first of all, and then turn east or to our port, and we'll do a wee test sail with full sails if I can find them. Right, so main gaff, were they at the side? Nope. The squares were centered, but now they're not. So is this? Yep, okay, so bottom of the main mast is the main topsail gaff. See, she's already listing nicely. And now we need to find the mizzen topsail gaff, which previously was... Oh, there's so much here. Right, it'll be one of these two. Let's try this one. Of course it's not going to be the right one at first. So it's the kind of off-angle one to port. And we've got a good list on us. Maybe too much of a list. Right, now she's turning pretty harshly, I think, to starboard. Which doesn't bode well for our balance. That would tell me there's too much in this mizzen. But that's okay, because we can let out. Until she's not turning on her own. How's that looking? Where's... let's get rid of the bread. Or at least one bit of bread. Let's go and have a peek. So I'm just watching that dial to see if she's turning at all. I don't mind a little bit of off balance, because we can always try and balance as closely as possible. You know, it doesn't... You don't become completely lost at sea by going off balance by a few degrees whilst you're sleeping. But that's looking pretty good to me, folks. There's maybe an ever so slight, very slow turn to port. I can't remember the buttons because I now play far too many sailing games. So if there's a slight turn to port, that would tell me I can just pull the mizzen in just a smidge. We are crashing through the water. What's the chip log saying with just the gaffs? It felt like we were going a lot faster than that, but a healthy 8 you cannot turn your nose up at. That's a beautiful speed to be at on a beam reach. And in fact, we don't have the sails properly set up for a beam reach. So let's see how far we can get the gaffs out, see if the shrouds cause any problems. So it's not as wide as I would have liked, but hey, we've got squares for that. So I think that's about as optimal as we'll get. Let's completely let out the mizzen. Is that definitely the mizzen? I mean, the mizzen doesn't go out at all, so what's obstructing it? I think we might need to go back in and check out the mizzen, unless that's just what we're going to get. But that's not going to be very balanced at all. But let's have a wee peek. I mean, she seems pretty balanced. I don't understand why, because I feel like I should let that, ease the mizzen out a bit more, but no, she's holding well. Can't complain at that. But let's have some real fun. Let's turn ever so slightly to what's going to be a good direction. Let's go east-southeast, or thereabouts, and think about letting the squares out. Before I let the squares out, I want to find, here we go, I want to find the sheets for them, and just unleash. So I believe that controls the sheets for both squares on the main. And then we've got our single square aft on the mizzen. Something crashed. That'll be 55% damage. And then we've got this little doohickey up forward. And we're going to unleash every single one of them. Don't think we're in a good direction for it then. Right, that'll be the top. And then we've got the main square. I'm not letting anyone see anything, folks, until we've got full sails out. And then it'll be this guy. Oh, that's a list and a half, isn't it? They do say the more of the side of the boat you have in the water, the faster she goes. Well, it's kind of ugly. But fast. Right, let's sort this jib out. I mean, perhaps having the gaff and squares, particularly with the squares so large, is not going to be a feasible thing in terms of looks. But let's see if that's done anything in terms of speed. I mean, I feel like Gold Rock City's miles away from us already. Oh, we're cranked ourselves up to 10 knots with that alone. I feel like with heavier winds, we're definitely pushing 12. Easily. Let's see if we can get ourselves close to that by going a little bit more downwind. And there we go. That's actually separated the squares from the gaff. So that might make things a bit visually nicer. I mean, there's just no wind getting to that jib at all. Our bow square was getting a bit wet there, so we might want to go back and change that for the smaller one again. Right, there we go. This should unleash the full square potential. At this point, I think the gaffs are probably more hindering than helping. Actually, maybe not. The mizzen, perhaps. Let's just check the speed with everything, and then we will pull both gaffs in and see what difference that makes. We're going too fast for the chip log to even hit the water. There we go. That's 11 for sure. It was flirting with 12 there. Oh. Right, let's take in the gaffs and go completely downwind. I should be checking for balance as well. No, that's a square. That's going to happen a lot, folks. Gaff down. Gaff down. Right, downwind. Beautiful. I mean, if I don't stop, we're going to be at the Emerald Isle pretty soon. I think I'm quite happy, folks. She seems balanced with both gaffs. She's fast. What else could you want? Let's do a final wee test, and then we will... Oh, come on, hit 12. Hit 12 for us. Come on. I'm counting that. I'm counting that. Pause it, zoom in, enhance, CSI. That hit 12. Oh, haul that back in. Right, now we get to close haul back to Gold Rock City. Let's get those squares in. Oh, and I forgot the most important part. But we'll get the squares in first. Oh, is this not exciting, folks? I do love a new sales day. See, I'm absolutely spoilt for choice with games at the moment. You'll notice I'm doing a bit of following seas content, and I'm back at Sail the Seas as well. But I'm afraid no game will come close to Sailwind for just sheer joy. And at this point, nostalgia. Because it's been almost a year I've been uploading. I know I took quite a few months off in the middle of the year. But, yeah. I've been around the block. Let's haul that in. That's a lot of line for a mizzen that isn't opening in the slightest. But we'll play around with that in the shipyard. See how much I can turn her without any sails out. Sort you out. Oh yeah, and the reason I brought up how spoiled I am with games, sailing games, is because there's now so many controls to remember, because every game decides to do it slightly differently, which is great. Right, so now we want both main gaffs out. So we trundle along forward, not forgetting that we've still got the helm locked. Are we close to a close haul? How big is that main telltale? Whoa. See from over here. It looked like it was about 40 metres long. Let's get the mizzen out before I get distracted. I'm getting far too excitable. I'm wondering if maybe we don't need a topsail mizzen. If we should just stick with a top square on the mizzen, if we even need one, and we'll just have a normal gaff. I might even go a lateen. But in this current configuration, I think I can get across the ocean. As I say, there'll be some slight fights with balance. But that's Sailwind. How are we looking balance-wise? So she's heading northwest. Let's just make sure she keeps at that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's go for attack. I don't know if I've got the jib configured well for attack, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Oh, I should find out where the bilge pump is as well, before I forget. I'm just getting distracted with everything. Even though all I want to do is climb that crow's nest. But bilge pump is going to be a very important thing to find. Right. Is this... How does this work? Maybe because there's no water in yet. So I'm presuming this is the bilge pump. Lovely. Brass. Beautiful. But we don't see... Oh, this is weird. We're getting a bit of the water from the outside. I thought this was fixed by my NAND Fixes mod, but it could be part of the update. We do have one bucket and we do have a spare bucket if the bilge pump doesn't work. But because we've got a lovely hull with minimal damage, yep, it's not even taking any oakum, then we can't exactly bring water in to test the bilge pump. Is she actually moving forward like that? We're basically dead in the water and she's moving forward. Like, sorry, we're sailing in irons, almost. That's about as close hauled as I've ever gotten on this game. Wow. Wow, okay. Can you tell I am excited, folks? Well, let's just make the angle a bit more negotiable. I actually want to let the main sheet out just a touch. And then we're going to stare at the compass again. Yeah, this she's going to be absolutely fine to get us to Aestrin. I don't think I'm going to make any changes. What I'll do, as usual, is I'll upload this video, and if anyone's got any advice on anything I should do before I set sail, this would be the time. Okay? So that's the YouTube. That's me doing my YouTube thing. Please leave a comment now, because there's a strong chance that by the time you see this video, I'm already in the middle of recording. Oh, and like and subscribe. Smash a button, please. Yeah, I can't do that. We have, it looks like, gotten ourselves stuck in the water potentially. But that's what test sails are for. Let's go and pull this back in. We don't care about balance now, we care about momentum. See, it's a lot of slack in the line for basically achieving nothing. And she's just completely turning on her own. So, yeah, definitely. Oh, that's because the helm was locked. Okay, cool. Lesson learned there. Just Shipwreck Sean being Shipwreck Sean. Nice, right. Let's get ourselves back to Gold Rock City. And don't worry, folks, I have not forgotten the crow's nest. It's been, when was it? 2022. It's been nearly 4 years since I've climbed a mast in real life. So we're about to get it. We're about to get the next best thing. And that's climbing the main mast of a sandbuck in Sailwind. That's going to be amazing for taking up our spyglass, trying to spot Aestrin. I'm very excited about that. It's just a tiny little thing. I don't think any of the mods I've added have been like completely game breaking. Maybe the wind compass, I think, as I say, is slightly cheaty. You know, because if we link up here, it's pointing in the direction the wind's coming from. But you know, I think it's just a cool thing to have. Like, surely by now, I've proven myself as someone that can follow the wind. But anyway, I'm going to shut up because there's something really important to do. Oh. These pieces of bread just getting in my way this episode. Away you go. Right, you're coming with me. Oh, there we go. So these lines going up are shrouds, but these lines going across the way are called ratlins, and as you can see, the ratlins are glowing. I'm going to press just left click. Oh, folks. I mean, I don't know how to get back down, but folks, maybe I push that. Okay, easy done. Right, back up we go though. I was not done with that. I mean, I don't know when I mentioned Crow's Nest first. And I think people did comment, oh, there's a mod for that, there's a mod for that. And I wanted this playthrough to be mostly mod free. Because I kind of want, you know, people that are following along and learning the game, I want them to think, you know, to know that, to see that anything that I'm doing, they can do without mods. But honestly, if you need help downloading a mod, just message me on Discord, I'll help you. couple of rhinos always out to help as well. I mean, do it. Sounds like we're stuck in the dead in the water. So down we go. Let's sort that out. We're not really, actually. I think it's mostly maybe the squares that are luffing around. Right, let's get full lights on since we've got a bunch of new torches. See if we've got any dark areas on board. There we go. Doesn't that look lovely at night with all the lights on? Have we peek at the clock with its wee light? We've got a bit of a dark spot here. And then we go down, light on, a bit of a dark spot in here. Light for the bilge pump, light for the hold. How's that, folks? I think I'm quite happy. Well, I say I think I'm quite happy. You can hear it in my voice. Let's get these off. Because I may have a bit of money, but you know, candles don't grow on trees. But we'll certainly keep our nav lights on. Oh, I can't close the clock. There we go. Yeah, and nav lights includes this guy as well. Oh, I'm buzzing. And now that we can't see the telltale up high, we've got this guy. I think I'm going to have to play around with the right position for it though, because it's a bit of a struggle to see the position. Where can I pop this? It seems to want to fight where I'm putting it. Yeah, that works for me because I can look at it from that angle and look at it from that angle and make a good assessment that we're close hauling. Oh, and she looks so good with the light on the shrouds and ratlins. Oh, I'm a happy chappy, folks. I should probably eat and drink. I'm just going to eat the bread and stuff because I want to keep the sunspot fish and everything else at full supply for the ocean crossing. It'd be good to know how much I've taken. I suppose I didn't show you these crates. This is an empty crate just for any Brucey bonuses in case I get quite a lot of snake oil. In here, I think I've added to this as the episodes have gone on. It's just a bunch of extra bottles of water. And why did it take the crate instead of the bottle? Now I'm going to have to individually pick up all these. Okay, fine. Let's just put you here for now. Well, since you've actually got navigation tools in you, that might actually make some sense. Water, navigation tools, manuals. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me, actually. So let's take these guys and shove them in here. Oh, does the wind compass act as a compass as well? So it's a compass with the wind direction. Beautiful. I can't believe I didn't click on that. Click mentally, that is. Right, we can drink this and litter it. And I didn't try out the fishing yet. Which also reminds me, I need to relocate these. Oh, some weird things going on. How do I turn that? There we go. There we go, that'll slot there. I would like these both aft. But I seem to be having a bit of trouble placing them, so we'll see if we get away with it. Yes. There we go, we've got our little fishing station. And we are ready for an ocean crossing. Absolutely. We are slow moving at a close haul, but it's probably because we went a lot further than I expected to, considering the speeds we were hitting. So it's just a nice jolly wee sail back home. But I don't think there's any more things I need to do, right? Other than the snake oil, I think I'm good to go. I'll increase this pile of bread and this pile of goat's cheese, of course, off camera. I might even grab some coffee and tea, but we'll see, because I want to save all my money. Because I'm told by the captain, Coupling Rhino, that it might be a good idea. We are turning to port, aren't we? It might be a good idea to consider heading to Saffron Island again and picking up a bunch of saffron. Because by the sounds of things, it will make us quite a good buck across the ocean. Yeah, so I think that was the mizzen causing us a wee bit of trouble there. Is it still causing trouble? Because if we're out of balance at a close haul, that's obviously a bit more problematic than I thought. That's a bit less happy fun time. But that seems alright. I think we just risk it, folks. I think we just take this current configuration across the sea. And any issues we have, well, I'm still confident we're going to get there. I've just realised I didn't even bother to look at the chart table. So how do we work this? I can't seem to open it or anything. E, F, nope. Right, I'm going to switch back to the update list. Yeah, so place a map on a table and use the charting kit on it to access the chart plotting system. Maybe it's got a problem with this particular table. Right, I've only got a plant and a bottle of water on this one. So let's see if the long table is the problem. It might even be... I mean, that would annoy me because I was really excited to have that big table there. Right, placed. Okay, folks, please let me know in the comments how to use this, because I can't seem to get it to use at all. Do I need to buy, like, a blank map? I'm not sure. That looks pretty cool there, right, from a visual point of view. So yeah, I'm not too sure how to operate this, so I will do some investigation on that. So for those of you joining this video for all of the updates, I'm sorry that I couldn't get that to work. And we definitely did turn to port there. But I keep forgetting about the other trick we've got, and that's just reefing the mizzen. Which kind of defeats the purpose of the topsail, but this is only a problem, it would seem, when we're close hauling. But we're almost at port. Teehee. I haven't brought my spyglass, but think of the views we're going to get of this ship during the day. This is going to be thumbnail galore, let me tell you. Down we go. Lovely. Right, folks, well, I'm going to call it a day there. As I say, I'm going to head back to port. I'm going to take a wee round trip to Alchemist Island to get a whole bunch of snake oil. I won't get too much because I think they're 30 lions each, or they might be 13. I'm not sure, but I'll basically get maybe a couple of hundred golds worth to stock up on, and then I'll be good to go. As I say, please let me know in the comments if I've made any massive errors with the sail configuration, because now's the time, and also about the plotting table as well. But other than that, folks, thank you very kindly for joining me. I've been Shipwreck Sean, and cheerio.